Greetings, welcome back to the channel. I just went for a walk, and before I left I asked for protection, and I just want to show you. I got caught in a downpour. I'm all wet. Look, I got soaked pretty much while I was out there. I don't know if you can see that, but and I realized that I was getting a spiritual bath. What happened was I was getting a spiritual bath, and I realized that my crown chakra was getting rinsed off. So I'll be back after I get dried off, because I got some downloads on the walk to share with you. Hi. I changed out of my wet things. So the topic that I was thinking about while I was out there walking, and it was right after I watched an interesting video by Sam the Illusionist. Shout out to Sam. I sometimes stop by your channel. I hope you can hear me. Let me know in the comments if you can't hear me on my video, if I need a microphone or something. He was talking about different ways of ascension and ways people try to ascend, and how so-called earthbound spirits get stuck. They can't ascend because they're grasping at other people's energy, and they're stuck in ego. And he also talked about how the Draco that are here, that's what they want. That's how they feed. They feed on the energy of people who are, I don't know how to explain this, but people who want to ascend and who are working on it, people who have like pure hearts, that energy of innocence, that giving energy, that, you know, that thing they talk about when they say they took your kindness for weakness. And that kind of happened to me all my life, because I wore my heart on my sleeve, and I was born like that. It's like that thing, you know, I woke up like this. And yeah, when I woke up, there were all these entities feeding on my energy, and they were very mean to me, very harsh. I had such a spirit of wanting to be free that they kept putting me into these situations that got me deeper and deeper into being more and more stuck, and so they could feed on me more, because they love the energy of an innocent person who's trapped. They love that. It's like a cheeseburger to them. Cheeseburger, 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 okay? Land Shark, Candy Graham. If you're my age and you remember the original Saturday Night Live and the Coneheads and everything, they were, you know, they were kind of showing us what was coming. Yeah. They do that. Anyway, I've been put into all these situations all my life that kept me spinning around and around and around back into, you know, they spun me around by putting me in the energy of fear a lot, and anger. And I even had one person who was attached himself to me, who wouldn't let go of me for more than 20 years. And I eventually got trapped with him in a small desert town, and I'm still there. I'm still in the small desert town, but I got away from him. I got out of his home and away from him. And then he lured me back a few times too. And it was very long, protracted struggle of me trying to get away and trying to achieve my liberation from this person. And when I finally did get away, I realized the whole town was like that. I had a whole town holding me down, holding me back. The whole town's feeding on my energy. But they were doing other terrible things too here. Terrible things. That I discovered. So going back to Sam's video about different ways of ascending, and not being able to, people who can't ascend are low vibrational. Now you hear that in videos a lot. What does it mean? I'm going to try to explain for people who are wondering, what does this, all this low vibrational, high vibrational talk really mean? Well, you'll also hear people talking about overcoming codependency, okay, and addictions. And when you watch tarot card readers, when they pull the devil card out, they talk about codependency, addictions, and so forth. And on that card, it shows two human beings that are chained to the devil. It's those chains, those bonds the devil ties you up, ties you to them with, so they can feed on your energy of innocence. It's like that innocent Adam and Eve energy, you know, the snake in the garden. Is there to feed on you, to feed on your energy. That's how they thrive on it. That's food to them. And so they want you to be codependent to them, meaning they need to have control over you so that you're forced to always be around them, so they can always feast on your energy. And so what they do is, you know, they get you into situations where you have to, you're in a contract of some kind, like you get born into a family of some. And I'm reminded of that old TV show, The Munsters. The whole family was monsters, except they had this one really nice, really beautiful daughter, Marilyn, that was blonde and sweet and nice and pretty and everything, but she lived at you know, the rest of them were monsters. So they were telling us something with that show too. Go and watch an old episode of The Munsters on YouTube and you'll see what I'm talking about. The Addams Family is sort of the same idea. You could get born into a family of them, or maybe later on you get a job and your boss is one, or your co-workers. I got into that situation over and over and over and over. Or you get into a relationship with a significant other who's an abuser, someone with NPD, which means narcissistic personality disorder. Okay, those are people who need to have control over you, and they're abusive. Okay, and they like to feed on fear, and they like to control you. They like to make you scared. They might even beat you physically or rape you. I've been raped. I'm a rape victim. #MeToo. They've done almost everything to me that they could do to hold me down, to hold me back, and I still moved on up. Because I made a choice to raise my vibration, and I made a choice to try to experience life without the addictions, without the codependency. So I tried to only be dependent on myself. See, I was stuck with that ex I got in a situation and got trapped with because he wanted me to be codependent on him. He offered me a free place to stay. And that, you know, that's a classic trap that they do. And then as soon as they get you in there and you can't get out, then they have you at their mercy. And that's exactly what happened. But it happened other times too. I mean, I used to work in an art gallery in Colorado, a very, you know, high-end place that sold very expensive artwork, and had a clientele that was qualified buyers, you know. And they weren't paying me enough to live in the expensive area where I was, so I became codependent. I was bound to that person. And I now recognize that the person who owned that gallery, that was a boss, was, you know, she showed every sign of having NPD. She was a raging narcissist. A malignant narcissist. I really believe that person is mentally ill. And, you know, I'm sorry for them. See, these people never learn how to live without that. They're codependent too, you see. They rope you into being codependent on them, but they're codependent on you too. They have to have your energy. Okay? If that person was really liberated, they wouldn't need to do that. They wouldn't need to collect people the way they do. They do. This one has a big collection of people that she kind of lords it over. And loves feeling very important and that kind of stuff. And they want you to bow down to them and worship them almost like they're gods or something. But they're not. And it's a terrible thing to be trapped, and so many people are trapped in these situations. And I really think that's what the pandemic was, and that's what it was all about. It was about getting people locked down, lockdowns, in horrible situations where you were codependent on people, and this is when I was trapped with this person during the pandemic. I had to get out during that time. You know, there was a lot of moving around and leaving and moving to different places and people moving around. 11:11 on the clock just now. I'm talking about moving to a nicer home and establishing a better foundation for myself where I wasn't codependent. That's 11:11. That's the energy of 11:11. Is establishing your own foundation, a good strong foundation for yourself where you can control your situation, you can control your own resources. This person kept getting into all my business, was making terrible decisions, and then I would say, hey, you know, like for example, when I had to give up a leased car because the lease was up and I couldn't afford it anymore, he insisted on that I buy this horrible old beater car from a friend of his, and I didn't want it. And every time I tried to have a discussion, he started a huge fight about it and got really abusive. And finally I capitulated. And then I was stuck driving this dangerous beater car for a long time too. These people play dirty. They're just, I think this person that had me trapped also is extremely mentally ill. I'm not mentally ill. One of the ways that try to get you trapped if you're a person of light is to claim that you're mentally ill, make false claims that you're mentally ill. Watch out for that trap because they'll gang up on you. And they have doctors who will write a wrong diagnosis just to get you into some kind of treatment where they can drug you and feed on you some more, trap you, maybe in an institution. There's a lot of evidence in my life that there were people trying to do that to me. I'm not mentally ill, and I never was. Okay, I feel very certain of that. And if I act goofy in these readings or crazy or whatever, that's just because these readings are for entertainment purposes only. Didn't you know that? I'm trying to entertain you. But there's nothing like meaningful entertainment that has value to it. You know, like not just a stupid porno movie, but some kind of movie that has a greater message to it, you know. A deeper message, a spiritual message. So you'll find that the entertainment I bring you has that aspect to it too. So I'm not gonna like go on and bleed for you and cry and yell and rip my hair out and talk all about and what this person did and what that person did. I mean, you know, I told you a little bit of that, but I'm trying to help you understand why these people do these things and how you, if you're in that situation, how you can pull yourself up out of it. For me, it required cutting off every single person in my life. I had to cut off every single one because what I found out as I woke up more and more, I found out that everyone was feeding on me. Everyone. Everyone had the mask on with the smiling face, you know. But behind that mask, there's a vampire with fangs. Blah. So what I had to do was I had to stop spending time with all of them. I was hanging out with them. I was smoking pot with them. I was drinking. It's been a long time since I was drinking, though. I gave up drinking years ago. I hate drinking. It makes me feel gross. So, you know, when I was younger, I drank a lot, but not a lot, but I drank socially, I should put it that way, because everybody else did, you know. But I wasn't doing that drinking alone stuff, although I later got into smoking weed alone a lot because I was so tormented by all these horrible, horrible energy vampire people. They really proliferated. They multiplied. And I think it's because they found a place here at this location in space-time or whatever. They found a place where they could land and congregate and get what they wanted. And so they kind of took over here, I think. And they sneaked up on us. And then by the time we realized what was going on, it was sort of too late. And now this war's been going on. As more and more of us wake up, we realize what has happened. Some people realize it's that the reality we're seeing has unseen aspects and some don't. And as you begin having your spiritual awakening, that's when you begin to see the unseen, okay? That's what they mean by having your third eye open. I don't really have an eye here, you know? As much as I play around with you guys and I do shit like this, you know, I don't really have an eye here. It's just a way of talking about that kind of consciousness of becoming aware of the unseen aspects of existence. I mean, we're not just existing in a physical plane, on a physical plane. There are other aspects to our existence that have roots in consciousness, and they're non-physical, unseen. And so that's what you're perceiving when you start to have your spiritual awakening. You start to become aware of these unseen aspects, these energetic aspects of everything. These people that are sucking your energy. And why do I feel so shitty after I spend time with that person? Or why do I need a nap? I had one energy vampire on me, feeding on me, that was so powerful that I needed to take a 2-hour nap after she drained me. And they can become very vindictive if they feel like you understand what's going on and you're turning them away. They get very angry and petulant, and they get vengeful too. Thunder in the background. Confirmation. I don't know if that's going to make it onto the video, but yeah, she started stalking me, and she tried to come over all the time, and she'd come to my door, and at first I was nice to her. Then I started really giving her the cold shoulder. I was like, what do you want, you know? And one time, and it got so bad before I really got into cutting everybody off. It got so bad one day that I saw her drive up, and I ran out to my car and jumped into my car and decided I'll just go to the grocery store and hopefully she'll be gone when I get back. Because this was a friend to the energy vampire that had me captive, who lived in the adjacent house. Thank God I had a little mother-in-law house that was given or offered to me for the free accommodations. I wasn't under the same roof with this person, but I was on their property. Anyway, sometimes your guardian angels or God or so whoever's watching out for you will allow certain kinds of things to happen to these people if they're really going too far. And that day was a really good example of it, because after I jumped in my car and drove off, I saw in the rearview mirror a police car come around the corner and pull her over right in front of my ex's house. Right in front of his house, pulled her over. Lights flashing and everything. And I stayed away for a good hour. When I came back, I was like, what happened? And I found out she got a ticket right there for not having a valid license and registration for her car. Now, did I do that? Or, you know, I think that I'm blessed. A lot of times things like that happen to me. They might start happening to you too. What you have to do is you have to politely turn your back on people, and you have to cut them off. I had to cut off my whole family. So right now I think I'm in a transition period where I'm in between, and I don't have anyone around that's like me or that I can relate to. And I'm very different from most of the people in this town where I ended up. And they're still gang stalking me. Of course, that's what they do to put the fear in you. And they want you to chase after them, or they want to chase you. They want you to feel scared. They want you to feel angry, all that. And so, you'll know you've gone another step up the ascension ladder when you're able to laugh at it. You stop being afraid of it. They did a lot of body shaming, gang stalking to me, and still do, of fat people wherever I go. Because I'm not thin, but I'm trying to lose weight. You know, that's part of my self-cleanup too, is trying to eat clean, lose weight. But it gets ridiculous, the things they do. I mean, they watch where you go, and then they send these gang stalkers wherever you go. And I like to go to the municipal swimming pool here because it's very hot. It's a desert, you know, and that was one of my only pleasures, was just to go there and get in the cool water and sunbathe a little bit. And all of a sudden, they started sending fat people there. And it got just totally ridiculous. I mean, one day, there was a fat lifeguard there, which is ridiculous. I mean, you know, I don't know how that person could pass their lifeguard certification. I don't think she could. She was just big, fat, and sloppy, and sitting up there loud and proud on the lifeguard chair. So I swam over so she could see me, and kind of got her attention and smiled at her and kind of, how you doing today? You know. So you kind of have to, you know. I started laughing at them. At first, they were making me really angry, and that was working for them. But you know, when you smile, the sun comes out. It's like the sun comes out on your face, right? And So that's how to make it stop. That's how to make the cloud go away. Just smile, laugh it off. I hope this helped you. I hope this helped. Thank you for stopping by. Don't forget to click on today's music link. And please like, share, and subscribe. And smile.